Ghostrunner is something I hadn't heard about until only very recently, but damn am I glad I did. The trailer had cyberpunk, first-person platforming reminiscent of Mirror's Edge, and robot katanas. How could I turn that down? The game isn't out yet, but I was able to play the demo released on the 29th. This will be more of an impressions video than a review, but I hope I can at least give some interesting thoughts on the game. Let's start with visuals. I just got a new laptop with significantly better specs than my old one, so I don't know if this game is just demanding or just well optimized, but it looks amazing. Environments are well detailed, the cityscapes look fantastic, even the titular Ghostrunner's hands are worth mentioning. They're snazzy. The only thing that stands out to me is that the walls to run on often stick out in the level design. Many of them look like they were put there for gameplay first and to blend in with the world second. However, the gameplay is the most important piece in this puzzle. And how is it? Well, there's one problem, and I don't know if it's an issue with the demo or my mouse, but there's a responsiveness issue with clicking. There were several instances in which I clicked and just straight up didn't swing my sword. I thought it had to do with needing to click instead of hold the mouse, but that isn't the case. I don't really think it's my mouse, since this is the only game I've had problems of this nature with. I just really hope this gets fixed for the final release, because it seriously harms the game. This is doubly sad because it's literally the only aspect of the gameplay that prevents it from being absolutely electrifying. Movement is responsive, sword swings feel impactful, dashing and bullet time have been blended together in a way that makes bullet time challenging. They made bullet time, the near universal free kills mechanic, into something that takes skill to pull off. It functions less as a free kills mechanic and more of a mid-air dodge, and it's a mid-air dodge you can screw up as well. Actually, you can screw up a lot here. Enemies die in one hit, but so do you, and you brought a sword to a gunfight. Restarting is instant though, and combat becomes a puzzle of sorts. Trying to figure out which direction to go, how to dodge, and go for the kill, that makes for a lot of fun, especially with instant restarts, and pulling it off is amazing. I did however notice there was a lack of enemy variety, and the structure of combat encounters was similar throughout the demo. The only enemy was guy with a pistol, and while their attack is well telegraphed, I'm not sure it can support a full game. I'm hoping to see greater enemy variety, perhaps enemies with shotguns or snipers, or enemies with more mobility. Combat encounters are the other thing that felt a little similar. Each enemy feels like they're fought in a vacuum, so instead of a combat encounter with 3 enemies that attack you, it's fighting one enemy, then another, then another. I think that's because these are early levels and having a string of single enemies is easier for the player than having to take on a group all at once. There's one instance in which you do fight several enemies at once, which is here, and it's super cool. I hope to see more of that in the full game. This is all backed up by a decent soundtrack that felt a little repetitive, but when it works well. The last thing to talk about is story, which is difficult since I only saw about 2% of it. I liked what I saw though. Some cataclysmic event, take your pick, has brought humanity to one place, the Dharma Tower, a massive cyberpunk tower where everyone is safe. But before the events of the game, there was a change in management, and now it's an authoritarian nightmare. So you break the old leader, who's now a super AI out of prison. He tells you your mission is to kill the current leader and end her rule, and then the demo ends. It's a pretty good setup. I had high hopes for this game, and the demo has solidified those hopes into genuine reasons to be excited. The story is a little hard to speculate on at this point, but there is potential, and the gameplay doesn't have any potential because it cashed all its potential in and is now, as I said prior, absolutely electrifying. If any of this looks interesting, try the demo for yourself, because at the end of the day, there's a designated taunt button. A game with a designated taunt button cannot be bad.